mynews.studio.
Picture this. In a lab in Tokyo, researchers have created a plastic that disappears in seawater within just a few hours. Could this actually put an end to ocean pollution?
Today is October 29th, 2025. Plastic pollution and ocean waste are almost inseparable at this point. Every year, millions of tons of plastic find their way into the sea. Why has it been so difficult to tackle this problem?
It all comes down to how persistent plastics are. Traditional plastics use very strong covalent bonds, so they don't break down for centuries. Even as they degrade, they just become microplastics, tiny pieces that are almost impossible to remove and end up everywhere, from fish to even inside human bloodstreams.
So we've tried banning single-use plastics, recycling more, even working on a global plastics treaty. But the total plastic waste keeps rising. Has anything actually changed?
Not until late last year. That's when Japanese researchers at Riken and the University of Tokyo announced something different. A plastic that dissolves in seawater in hours, and in soil in less than 2 weeks. And it doesn't just break apart, it actually becomes nutrients.
Wait, nutrients? So it doesn't just turn into smaller plastic bits?
Right, not just fragments. The plastic is based on sodium hexametaphosphate and guanidinium monomers. These form ionic bonds, which are strong enough for practical use, but sensitive to salt water. When it hits the ocean, those bonds break, and what's left are simple, biodegradable molecules. Bacteria can then metabolize them. No microplastics remain.
That's a real shift. How does it behave in soil?
In soil, it breaks down within about 10 days, releasing nitrogen and phosphorus. So instead of harming the environment, it could actually enrich it.
But what about performance? Is this new plastic flexible, strong, like the plastics we use now?
Yes, it's versatile. Manufacturers can make it hard or flexible, even rubber-like. It's also non-toxic, doesn't burn easily, and can be recycled.
If it's that adaptable, why can't we just switch all single-use plastics to this material right away?
There are a few big hurdles. The first is scaling up production. Making enough of this new plastic to compete with oil-based plastics, both in price and quantity, takes a lot of infrastructure and investment.
And what about regulations? There must be safety reviews, especially if this could end up in food packaging or medical supplies.
Exactly. Every country has its own rules for plastics, and because this material is so different, it'll need a full round of safety and environmental tests in each place. Plus, recycling and waste systems would need updating.
Then there's the current plastics industry. How much pushback is there from established producers?
It's significant. The plastics industry is global, with a lot invested in current materials and supply chains. Switching over would disrupt a lot of existing business.
Let's touch on the environmental footprint. Does it take more energy or resources to produce this plastic compared to traditional types?
Early studies suggest that when it breaks down, it doesn't release harmful carbon dioxide, and about 90% of its main ingredients can be recovered and reused. But the full energy cost of producing and recycling it at scale still needs more study.
If this plastic adds nutrients to the environment, could too much cause problems like nutrient runoff in coastal areas?
That's a good point. If too much is used in one spot, nitrogen and phosphorus levels could rise. So environmental protections will be needed, like setting limits in sensitive areas and monitoring water quality in real time.
Who would be responsible for those safeguards? Would it fall to national governments, or would international bodies step in?
Ideally, organizations like the UN Environment Program would set the guidelines, working with local governments to monitor use and catch any issues early.
Why does this breakthrough matter globally? Is it just about cleaning up the oceans, or is there more?
It's much bigger than just ocean cleanup. Microplastics have been found everywhere, from the deep sea to the Arctic and inside people's bodies. This technology could reshape packaging, farming, even healthcare. It shows that targeted research can actually tackle urgent world problems.
So it's not just about bans or cleanups, but about making better materials from the beginning.
Exactly. The real challenge now is bringing this out of the lab and into everyday use, quickly, safely, and at a large enough scale.
So, is this the tipping point for ending plastic pollution, or will old obstacles slow things down again?
Only time and serious investment will give us that answer. But it's a rare moment of real hope in the fight against plastic waste.
Thanks for joining us as we explored this new plastic and what it could mean for the world's oceans. The story definitely isn't over.
Thank you for listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. You can try it now for free.